This time we're in the cutoff with 9-8 of clubs, and we open raise to 15. The button 3 bets us to 45, so we make the call. The flop is Jack 9-9 with 2 diamonds, and he bets 95. The small blind thinks for a while, and then announces raise, and raises to 270. So we make the call. So we're going heads up to the turn, which is the 8 of spades. Now he ships it into us. Obviously, we make the call. This video was created for entertainment purposes only. By no means am I a professional poker player. The following video is not intended to teach nor train, but rather to provide a look into my journey. Please gamble at your own risk. Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I put out a vlog, but a lot of my time has been occupied. Most of you guys know why, because we just recently had a newborn, but either way, we gotta get down to it. We gotta hit the felt. So here we go. Without further ado, let's get into the first hand. We have ace 10 off in the cutoff. Under the gun limps. It folds to us and we race to 20. 2 people call, the big blind and under the gun. So the flop comes down 10-9-7 with 2 spades. It checks to us and we bet 20. Both of them call. The turn is the 7 of diamonds. Now this obviously pairs the bottom card. I think we're pretty good here most of the time, especially since they both check. So we fire out 65, trying to charge all straight draws. And now the backdoor diamond draw comes in. So there are 2 different flush draws. The big blind check raises us to $200. We are about 700 effective. This type of action usually is indicative that he has a big hand. Minimum of a straight, but could be a full house. Under the gun folds, and you know, at this point, I don't think I can continue with this hand anymore. So we just put in the fold. The next notable hand is 9-8 of hearts in the cutoff. It gets folded to us, and we raise to 15. The small blind 3 bets us to 30. Comes back to us, and well, we call in position because we have a decent enough hand, and it was only a little bit bigger than a min raise. So we are about 300 effective. The flop is Jack 9 deuce. He checks, we bet 20, and he snap calls. Not too sure what he can have here by checking and calling. Maybe some queen 10, king queen type hands, but the turn is the 4 of diamonds. Now he checks, and you know, we got to put him on like maybe ace king. Once again, king queen, maybe queen 10 with the 3 bet and the check call. So let's pot control just in case he does have a better hand, and also disguise ours. We check. River is the deuce of diamonds, and he leads for 50 now. Not sure how he could have a big hand here. The deuce was essentially a blank. I doubt he's slow playing an overpair here, and with his check on the flop, it's doubtful that he 3 bets pre-flop and then checks back if he hits top pair, right? So his line doesn't make sense, so we make the call. He turns over ace queen of spades, and we take this one down. All right, so there's going to be a bunch of 9s in this vlog, and why not a better time than right now to have pocket 9s? We are in the cutoff. There's a limp under the gun. We raise to 20 when it gets folded to us. The small blind calls, and now we're going heads up to a flop of 8, 6, 5 with 2 hearts. We don't have a heart in our hand, but we do have an overpair. Small blind checks, and now we have to protect that overpair, so we bet 25. He quickly calls. The turn is the jack of diamonds. This is a pretty safe card. You know, I don't really see him having a jack in his calling on the flop range. So when he checks, we bet 70 to deny equity from all heart and straight draws. He thinks for a bit and makes the call again. The river is another jack, which is a great card, except it's the heart. This brings in the front door flush, and when he checks, we just have to shut down unless we think we can get value out of maybe ace 8 or 9-8 or similar type hands. We check with the intention of tabling the winning hand, and he interrupts that process by showing us pocket 10s. Wow, getting notched by 1. In this next hand, we look down at ace deuce of diamonds under the gun, and we raise to 15. It's a little bit loose, but gotta switch things up and mix it up sometimes, right? So the button calls, and we're going heads up to a flop of ace 10-8 with 1 diamond. We check to kind of pot control, under rep our hand a little bit, and he bets 20. We make the call because obviously we can't just fold here. We've got top pair. We've got, a backdoor diamond draw, so what the heck, let's make the call. The turn is the 9 of diamonds, so it does bring in that backdoor draw. This gives us extra equity in the hand. That is if we are behind. We check, and he bets 25. So, once again, can't fold. We make the call. The river is a red king, but not the diamond. Damn, we check, and he bets 50. This guy has been switching it up pretty hard, so it's a little difficult to put him on a hand. His range is wide, and for that reason, we make the call. We've seen him pull off some bluffs earlier, and he does not show us the bluff this time. He shows ace king. He's good. That's a bad read by me. Hey guys, I want to take some time to mention some exciting news. We are having a NorCal meetup game at Capital Casino in Sacramento, California, Saturday, July 24th. Cards start flying in the air at 2 p.m. It's going to be myself, Andrew Locke, Check Race Charles, Doug McCusker. We do have some special guests coming in from SoCal and the Las Vegas area. Fish Poker, Think Blue Poker, Jeff Stimson. We're going to be playing some 1-3 no limit with a 500 cap. I think it's matched the stack after that. I'm not too sure. But make sure you sign up through the Poker Atlas app. The game name is NorCal Mug July 24th. Or you can just give Capital Casino a call if you're having trouble with the Poker Atlas app. I know some people have had some issues. So make sure you give them a call. Make sure you put your name on the list. The list is getting quite large. We anticipate a relatively big turnout. So make sure you reserve yourself a seat. All right, let's get back to the felt. All right, this is an exciting hand. Once again, we have a 9 in our hand. This time we're in the cutoff with 9-8 of clubs, and we open raise to 15. The button 3 bets us to 45, and surprisingly, the small blind just flats. So, well, I mean, we're going to go 3 ways to a flop. We have a hand that can flop pretty huge, especially against 2 hands, which I think are probably pretty big holdings, maybe big pocket pairs, maybe ace king, ace queens, stuff like that. So, yeah, so we make the call. The flop is Jack 9-9 with 2 diamonds. So we just flop trips. The small blind checks, and we play in flow and check to the button because he was kind of the pre-flop aggressor, and he bets 95. The small blind thinks for a while, and then announces raise, and raises to 270. Now, we're about 500 effective, and there's a ton of things going through, our head right now. What can the small blind have? Does he have a 9 in his range? Did he flat a 3-bet pre-flop with queens or kings? Now he wants to squeeze me out and play heads up with the button, who has been raising a lot. Does he have pocket jacks? Nah, because he would have just flattened that spot, welcoming me in, right? Steenley folds after we make the call. So we're going heads up to the turn, which is the 8 of spades. We fill up, and now he ships it into us. We're not sure what we're up against, but obviously we make the call. He shows queen 10 of diamonds for the straight and an open-ended straight flush draw. We're dodging 2 outs for this huge pot, and the river is 3 of clubs. We win a huge pot. Shout out to Minori. He's the opponent in this hand and a vlog watcher and just overall a nice guy. He told me nice hand, and we had a pretty cool conversation after that as well. He doesn't hold any grudges against me, or that I know of. So like I said, guys, a lot of 9s in this vlog. This time we have ace 9 in the cutoff, and when it gets folded to us, this is a good enough hand to raise, so we raise to 15. Only the small blind calls. So the flop is 6-4 deuce with 2 hearts. We flop, obviously, the nut flush draw and 2 overcards, and a backdoor straight draw, kind of. So he leads 20 into us, and we could raise here since we have super high equity, but we haven't been running so well, obviously, besides that last hand, and to be honest, it clouded our judgment, so we just make the call. The turn is the 4 of clubs. He bets 30, and once again, not folding here, we make the call. Now we want a heart, and yes, sir, the river is a heart. Wait, but it's the 6 of hearts. Ugh. Small blind now leads for 95, and, well, we lose to all full houses, and he sized up. All right, we fold. Okay, time to start off a hand with a premium hand, unlike the rest. This time we're in the small blind with ace king off. The big blind doesn't chop, so we raise to 20 when it gets folded to us, and he makes the call. So going heads up to a flop, and the flop is king 8-6 with 2 diamonds. We bet 20, and he quickly makes the call. Not too sure what he has at this point, but let's see what the turn brings. And the turn is the 9 of clubs. We check for pot control and kind of, I guess, deception. The 9 also brings in a lot of, draws, and he could have a straight here. He could have 2 pair. Just not too sure what's going on. Don't really want to get raised here out of position and get raised off of our hand, right? So we check, he bets 50, and we make the call. The river is the ace of clubs, so obviously giving us top 2 pair. We don't want to miss out on value now, and also the ace scares his 1 pair hands, right? So if we check, most likely he's just going to check behind, so we miss value anyways. So let's bet small. We put in a bet of 75. He thinks about it for a bit, and then folds. Okay, so when you're running kind of bad, I know you guys aren't seeing all of the hands that have been going on in this session. A lot of the times we've been raising pre-flop, c-betting and missing, or maybe calling a raise pre-flop and just missing the flop completely. So our stack is diminishing. Maybe we're calling a c-bet on the flop and, missing on the turn. Whatever it may be, there's a lot of hands that didn't make it to the vlog, but this kind of goes into why we play this hand. And now we have 6-4 off on the button. I know it's trash, but we're a little frustrated, we're a little bored, so let's get it. 6-4 off on the button. There's a limp under the gun, and mistake number 1 obviously is we overlimp. The small blind calls, and the big blind raises to 15. Now obviously if you're going to play a crap hand like this, especially on the button, you probably want to be raising it. There's no reason to overlimp, but we did anyways. Mistake number 2, after the big blind raises to 15, we make the call. That's right, all 3 of us make the call. So we are going 4 ways to the flop, and the flop is 7-6-4 with 2 diamonds. We flop bottom 2, we get rewarded. Let's go. The big blind leads into the field for 30. Under the gun +1 calls, and now we call to reevaluate on the turn. 3 ways to the turn, and the turn is the deuce of spades. Such a safe card, as 5-3 was already the straight. Great card for us, and the big blind checks. Under the gun +1 now bets out for 70. That's kind of weird, right? The stop and go. What could he have? He could have hands like 8s through 10s. Let's call and see what happens on the river. We call, and the big blind folds. So the river is the queen of diamonds. Under the gun +1 bets 85 into us. He's not scared of the flush. He has about 150 behind, so I doubt he's bluffing, but maybe he thinks his pair is good. We call, and he shows us the bad news of a set of 4s. Ouch. Nice hand, sir. This is why you don't play trash cards. A little bit of a better hand than last. We pick up JT of diamonds in the big blind. Under the gun raises to 20. Under the gun +1 calls. And in the big blind, we're going to make the call. 3 ways to the flop, and the flop is pretty good. Just like the last hand, we flop 2 pair. This time, top 2 pair. Jack 10-8, and there's 2 spades. We check, and under the gun bets 35. Under the gun +1 calls. And now, once again, we can raise here, but it's such a wet board that it's going to be hard for us to play this out of position with almost any card on the turn. So let's call and reevaluate on the turn. That's what we do. The turn now brings one of those cards. It is the queen of spades. Wow, what a bad card. Brings the flush and the one-liner to the straight. Okay, let's check again. Under the gun checks, and under the gun +1 also checks. So we get a free river card. We want a jack or a 10. Jack 10, Jack 10, Jack 10. Nope. It's the 8 of spades. Now, any overpair or queen or spade or 9 beats us. We check, and now the under the gun player bets 95. Under the gun +1 folds, and now we fold. That's just a horrible run out for us. I know it may not have seemed like we lost a lot in this session, but besides that one full house hand, we didn't really pick up that much, right? This session was kind of uneventful, and we didn't get involved in too many big pots, but I made a promise to you guys that I would vlog my journey and be transparent about the whole thing. So I record every session that I can. Some maybe you know, don't have all the huge pots and such, but I'll put out the videos anyways because it is a part of my journey. Anyways, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you guys at the meetup game.